Hey there, sports fans. Welcome to our high school football preview. This is Carlyon, prep sports editor from the Florida Times-Union, joined by Justin Barney, sports editor from the St. Augustine Record, and we're going to talk about really a lot of subjects, but condense it into one main idea today, and that's St. Johns County football powers, Nice, St. Augustine, and Bartram Trail, kind of against the Duval schools and the other schools in our coverage area, First Coast, Bowles, Fleming Island, and Justin, first off, let's just talk about St. Johns County has been so dominant. State championships with Nice and St. Augustine and title game appearances last year. Bartram Trail, a Final Four team, but they've got some issues this year, and could we see a kind of a stepping back a little bit of St. Johns County schools?
I think from what we've come to expect, a stepping back. 3 state championship games in a row by Nice. Don't know if we're going to see that again this year, just because the obstacles they had, not only with graduations, and mainly with their quarterback Ted Sakaitis to Wake Forest, quite a few other guys to Wake Forest, but also the depth issue. New school opened up in Ponte Vedra, pulled away the Nice talent pool, so I think Nice probably faces the toughest road back. Bartram Trail, another situation like Nice. They lose their star quarterback in Kyle Parker, who went to Clemson. They lost a lot of talent across the board, and also opening a new school, Creekside High School, and taking away some depth issues there for Bartram Trail. St. Augustine is going to be strong as always. 13-2 last year, lost in the state championship game to Naples. So I think across the board we're going to see a decline in what we expect from these teams, but not in terms of these teams getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see because there's been such a big gap between St. Johns County and kind of everybody else in North Florida in the First Coast area. But you're seeing some teams get a little bit better. First Coast, they lost a ton on defense, but offensively should be very explosive. Fleming Island really looks like they're going to become a power for years to come. Obviously, Columbia, a little bit further away, but with Craig Howard there, certainly looks like they're a sleeping giant. And then obviously you've got teams like Bowles, traditionally strong. So it'll be interesting to see if that gap can close a little bit. And in some of these instances, we could see these teams butting heads in regional semifinals, regional finals. Nice and First Coast, and obviously St. Augustine might have a little bit of some competition, maybe from like a Jackson, but it seems like that gap is closing. But you're right, I still think St. Johns County is ahead of the curve. How do you see those three teams, Nice, St. Augustine, Bartram, kind of stacking up on top of each other?
I think, they all play each other, so that'll be a good gauge of where these teams are at when they play each other. Some of the best teams that they've faced all year is within the county and with each other. St. Augustine and Nice, always a great game, so that's Nice has won the last 2 of those. Bartram Trail's never beaten St. Augustine. They play in week 2, so that'll be a good test out of the gate for both of those teams. And Bartram, I think their biggest test is maybe a Fleming Island. We saw that last year in the regional finals, and maybe again this year we see that matchup, Fleming Island, Bartram Trail, nice area rivals. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, here, again, I think, you're looking at can teams get to that Final Four in this area and compete and get to that level where maybe you're a break or 2 away from a state championship? I think we're not at that level yet. I think if we see a state champion in this area, I think St. Augustine would be a good bet. Bowles seems like they have too tough of a road with South Sumter and Madison County. In 5A, it's very competitive once you get down to those Final Four teams, and then in 4A, I think Columbia is probably a year or 2 away. That'd be a lot to ask in year 1, and it'd be a lot to ask of Coach Kyle Gill at Nice to in his first year keep that state title appearance streak going. So it'll be interesting, but I kind of think you're going to see maybe half a dozen teams get pretty far, but not quite make it all the way. And I don't know if we'll have the representation in Orlando in the state title game that we've seen in the past.
Last year we had 3 teams from St. Johns County make the state semifinals. It's the first time that's ever happened for the county, and also for a county that small in state history since 1963. So what we saw last year and what we've come to expect has been pretty high standards in St. Johns County in football, and Duval County should have those same standards with the amount of teams that they have.
Yeah, you'd think, and there's a lot of talent in the area, so we'll see how it plays out. Well, Justin, thanks for coming up here and chatting with us, and look forward to seeing you out on Friday nights.
That's right. See you guys this season.
All righty, take care, sports fans.